Success isn't free. It's a cost. You have to pay a price. Question is, are you willing to pay the price? Remember, talking success in all areas, y'all. Success in all areas. This is not just success in your finances, which is a part of it. Success in your health, success in your relationship, success in your spiritual, like success in any area that you want to succeed in. You get to put a name to success. You get to put a face to success. You get to put a label on what success is in your life. That goes back to the vision that you have. Is it clear? Do you know what you're headed towards? Do you know what your vision is and what success looks like for you? If you haven't even defined that in these areas of your life, start there. But then once you've defined it, just know it costs something. There's a price to pay. The price, again, you can't negotiate it, but you got to be willing to pay the price, y'all. Some things you heard in there, right? Failure is a part of success. I hope we understand that concept by now. Many of you have been on these mindset calls long enough to understand that like you're going to fail. You got to fail forward as long as you're trying something new, as long as you are stepping out of your comfort zone, as long as you're doing something that's against your nature, you are not going to naturally be good at it. You're going to fail, you're going to stumble. That's the way that it goes, but that's a price that you pay to be successful in an area. So you got to be willing to do that. Again, hope we understand these things. These are just little reminders, y'all. These are reminders. Maybe somebody's been attached to failure or not wanting to fail or, not trying because they might fail or they're not good at it or they don't have whatever the intangibles are to do the thing. We got to get that out of our mind. We got to get that doubt, those thoughts out of our mind. We got to change our thinking on that side to know this is required when it comes to the road of success. Right? You got to know that the person you are today, you have to be able to put away those things, put away those thoughts, put away those emotions, put away those habits in order to become the next version of yourself. And that's hard. That's difficult. That's the challenge, but that's the price. That's the price, y'all. So you got to be willing to pay the price. Again, in our text, 177 mental toughness secrets of the world class. It says it right there. The world class is always willing to pay the price. Are you always willing to pay the price, or are you negotiating what the price is? Are you negotiating the price you have to pay? Are you saying, is it really worth it? Or are you willing to say, hey, that's the vision, that's the goal, that's the man or woman I see myself as. Now I'm willing to do whatever it takes to pay the price to get to that life. It's just how we think about it. It's just the resilience. It's just the determination. These are the things that we got to keep instilling in us because it's very easy to quit. It's very easy to stop. It's very easy to slow down. Like it's very easy to do those things. And you have to remind yourself that this price must be paid daily. That's what Tim Grover said in that video. The price changes like the stock market every day, up and down. The price changes, but you got to wake up every day being willing to pay that price. Here's what it says in the text. It says the average person would be flabbergasted at the amount of time and effort that professional performers invest on their way to the top. Amateurs use words like lucky and opportunistic to describe the world class, but they couldn't be farther from the truth. The great ones pay a tremendous price for their success. Say that again. The great ones pay a tremendous price for their success. While the masses spend an inordinate amount of time planning and scheming ways to avoid doing the work necessary to win, champions are out on the playing field paying the price. The middle class consciousness is convinced there's a shortcut to success and are bound and determined to find it. Of course, there's never been a shortcut to success, nor is there a glamorous method of paying the price. There's only the blood, sweat, and tears of delayed gratification. There is only the pain and suffering of practice. There's no escape from it, and the winners know it. You either pay the price for success or you pay the price in regret. Say that one again. You either pay the price for success or you pay the price in regret. Only champions know the price of success is a much lighter burden to bear than the ongoing torture of regret. As speaker Jim Rohn says, paying the price weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. To thinking and contemplative people, the only intelligent choice is paying the price. The alternative is mental torture. Success is a toll road. Pay now or pay later. You already know what the great ones do. This is the price, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever you're asking for. Again, I don't know exactly what you are asking for, but I'm going to assume by you being here, by you showing up, by you taking hold of your personal development journey, by you being intentional about your mind and your thoughts and all these things, I'm going to assume that there are things that you want, there's something out there that you are striving after. It could be just the best version of you. It could be something monetary. It could be something in your relationship. It could be something in your health life. Like, I don't know. But if there's something that you're after, then you got to understand that got to pay the price. And the price that you pay, like it says, either you pay the price for success or you pay the price in regret. You're either going to continue to go after the things you want, or eventually you're going to regret one day not doing it. They say, when you go sit down with people in a nursing home, or, some people that have kind of gotten to that age, they're, 90 years old, they're in that space, and you ask them some things, as their life is winding down, and you start talking to them about their life, naturally they're going to bring up the regrets, the things they didn't do, the things that they should have tried, that now they're out of time, they're out of energy. They can't go back and do those things. And now they have to sit with that regret. That's not the place that we want to be. Again, we talked about this on Wednesday. We're all going to arrive at death at some point. We only get one life. You can arrive there safely with a bunch of regret, saying, I wish I would have, I should have done this, all the shoulds and right, all those things. We can sit with that, or we can just say, let's go max this thing out. Let's go every day, push ourselves to be uncomfortable. Let's go pay the price every day. Let's go do the hard work every day. It's going to be hard either way. You can either pay now or you'll pay later. I prefer to pay now, and I'm encouraging you guys to pay now, whatever the price is for whatever it is you're trying to go after, whatever the life is, whatever the goals are. Like, go after them now. Sacrifice now. Go through the pain now. Like, pay the price now, because the regret down the line is not something you want to sit with. And again, this is all areas of your life, ladies and gentlemen. It could be that we're talking about business. Like, you might need to sacrifice a little bit more of your time and energy to put time and energy into business so that it frees up your time, gives you the life that you want, all those things. That might be a sacrifice. You might have to sacrifice, again, some of your habits that have you've been stuck with, that you've been dealing with for a very long time. You might have to sacrifice those things. It's going to be hard. But if that's the price that you need to pay, you better pay it now. Otherwise, you're going to pay later. And the older we get, the less energy we have, the more life continues to push us. And it gets harder and harder to pay that toll, to pay that price. So we got to do it now. Again, whatever that is in your life. That's the message for today, y'all. It's simple, and it's just a reminder. Like, this is work to get to your ideal life. This is work to have success. It is work. There's pain involved. There's sacrifice involved. Don't shy away from it. Like it says in here, don't spend time trying to find the shortcut. Don't try to spend time trying to figure out the path of least resistance. Don't try to, like it says, while the masses spend an inordinate amount of time planning and scheming ways to avoid doing the work necessary to win. Let that not be you. Don't be the person that's trying to avoid the work that you know you need to do just because it's hard, just because it's uncomfortable, just because it's a sacrifice, just because you got to change your life, just because you got to change your thinking, just because it's going to push some people out of your life or require you to do things that you're not comfortable with right now. Just because of that, don't start finding the shortcut, because there is no shortcut. It says there's only the blood, sweat, and tears of delayed gratification, of you doing the work now, the pain and suffering of practice, of consistency, of showing up every day, of these things that we talk about on these mindset calls, of waking up every morning with gratitude, actively being intentional about waking up and not allowing the world in right away, to give yourself time to just collect your thoughts, to pray, to meditate, to move your body, to hydrate yourself, like to start your day that way. Those are little things of like, okay, I got to start changing how I think. I got to start applying things a little bit differently. Maybe again, if you go to you're the average of the five people you spend the most time with, who has your ear? Who are you talking to? Who are you listening to? Because you're probably the average of them. You probably think about the same, think about life in the same ways, make about the same money, have about the same health life, have about the same types of problems. Like that's who you're around typically. So how do you break free from that? How do you change your circle? How do you add in good influences? How do you remove yourself from negative influences? How much are you thinking about those things? Because that's the sacrifice. That's the price that you got to pay in your finances. You say you want to build financial freedom. You want to get, but yet we aren't tracking, we aren't budgeting, we aren't saving. We still have habits where we're gambling, where we have vices and things, and we're not willing to pay the price to break those things. That's all this comes down to, ladies and gentlemen. This is a conversation about doing the work and being willing to pay the price, not finding the shortcuts, not saying, hey, if I do this, it's, going to be a little bit less resistance for me. So maybe I'll get there faster. There's no getting there faster, y'all. It's staying consistent and changing how you're thinking so that your life can change. When you change your thinking, your habits change, your actions will change. So then you'll get different outcomes. If you keep thinking the way that you've been thinking, you'll keep getting the same outcomes. And changing our thinking is hard, but it's the price you got to pay. You got to consume different things, y'all. I'm gonna die on this hill. You're gonna hear me say this forever because I believe it, and not just I believe it. Like there's research, and right, if you're one of those people, you need to see it on paper and all the stuff. That's why I constantly bring this stuff and put it in front of you. But we become what we consume. We become what we think about. That's how you, right? You become what you think about, what your dominant thoughts are. That's who you become. Well, where do our thoughts come from? They don't just come out of thin air. Your thoughts just don't pop up. They come from what you consume. Your thoughts come from what you see, what you hear, who you're around, what you take in with your eye gates and your ear gates. That's where thoughts come from. So if you change what you consume, you change what you put into your eye gates and ear gates, it'll change your thoughts. Then once you change your thoughts, then you can change your life. That's hard work. That's the price. The price might be cutting out some things that you've been consuming for a very long time. That might be the sacrifice. That might be the price. Like I said, I don't know what it is for you, ladies and gentlemen, but I know this is the right way to think about it. This is the right way to think about it. Here's a quote from Thomas Edison says, I'm wondering what would have happened to me if some fluent talker had converted me into the theory of an 8-hour day and convinced me that it was not fair for my fellow workers to put forth my best efforts in my work. I'm glad that the 8-hour day had not been invented when I was a young man. If my life had been made up of 8-hour days, I don't believe I could have accomplished a great deal. This country would not be amount to as much as it has if the young men 50 years ago had been afraid that they might earn more than they were paid for. This is a quote, just understanding that you got to pay the price. You got to pay the price. You got to be willing to pay the price. Doesn't matter what the price is, you got to be willing to pay it. The action step for today says ask this critical thinking question. Do my current habits, actions, and behaviors suggest that I'm more interested in instant pleasure or delayed gratification? Do you want to, are you the pay later person? Like, I'm not going to pay this now. I'm not going to pay this price now. I'm going to pay this price later. That's the instant pleasure person. The delayed gratification person says, I'm going to pay now instead of paying later. So where do you sit? It says if the answer is instant pleasure, don't feel bad. 95% of the population falls into this category. If you're ready to break free from the pleasure loop that leads to regret, decide today to begin pursuing the path of delayed gratification. Do the work now for a future benefit. Just focus on tasks, activities, and goals that will give you gratification for a lifetime instead of just a few minutes. My message today, ladies and gentlemen, is just be willing to pay the price. I don't know what that looks like in your life. You have to figure out what that looks like. You have to know where you're headed, and then you have to be willing to sacrifice, go through the pain, go through the commitment, go through all the stuff in order to get to that life. The best part is you can do it. It's possible. Good old Les Brown, right? It's possible. As hard as you think it is, as much as high, as tall as you think that mountain is to getting out of where you are to get to the life that you want, just remember, it's possible. You can do it. You can make it happen. Sure, it's going to take some work, but you're capable of it. I'm going to constantly remind you that I love you guys. I want y'all to win. You deserve it. Your families deserve it. There's people that are counting on you to get this information and do something with it. There's people that are counting on you to climb this mountain. There's people that are counting on you to pay the price. The more you pay the price, what's funny is you lighten the price, you lessen the price for those that come after you. If you're willing to pay the majority of the price, family gets it at a discount. That's what happens. You don't pay the price, they're going to have to pay full price. And then somebody somewhere down the line is going to have to pay that price for them. So why not let it be you, y'all? Let's go out and make it happen. I love you guys. Enjoy your Friday. Do something that pushes you out of your comfort zone today. Do something this weekend that scares you. Let's jump back here on Monday. All right. Take care, y'all.